Do patents related to the diseases AIDS, SARS, Zika and Ebola prove that they were man-made? No, that's not true. 3 of the patents cited are associated with those diseases, but they are not for the creation or invention of them. There is no mention in any of the patents that indicates the applicants fabricated the viruses. The Zika virus patent mentioned in the claim does not exist. The claim appeared in a video, where it was published on Facebook on May 4, 2023, under the title, "Things That Make You Go The video opened with a voice saying, quote, "Now I'm going to give you 5 more. Although I could go on forever. Counting down number 5. Did you know that diseases such as AIDS, Zika, SARS and Ebola are actually patented? Do you know when something is patented? When it's man-made. Man-made diseases, are you kidding me?" End quote. This is what the post looked like on Facebook at the time of writing. Source: Facebook screenshot taken on Monday, May 8, 1937. 01-2023 UTC. The video has a caption in the beginning that reads, "The Fall of the Cabal Part 1", and makes several claims. This fact check is focused only on the claims regarding the patents. The patents listed in the video are, quote, AIDS, 4,464,465, 4,520,113 SARS, 7,897,744 Zika, ATCCVR84 Ebola, 20,120,251,502 End quote. AIDS, 4,464,465, 4,520,113 U.S. patent 4,464,465 expired in 2002 and was a patent for a technique to produce monoclonal antibodies. Quote, "Novel method. Cells and compositions are provided involving transforming B lymphocytes to provide immortalization for continuous production of monoclonal antibodies to a predetermined ligand." End quote. U.S. patent 4,520,113 expired in 2004 and was a patent for a technique to detect antibodies in sera of AIDS and pre-AIDS patients and describes the biochemical and immunological analysis of antigens associated with the virus HTLV-3 human T-cell leukemia virus. Neither patent claims to have invented the AIDS virus. SARS, 7,897,744 U.S. patent 7,897,744 was for the genomic sequence of the SARS, severe acute respiratory syndrome, virus which may be used, for example, for the diagnosis, prophylaxis, or therapy of a variety of SARS virus-related disorders. The Public Health Agency of Canada applied for the patent in 2004. 2 years after the virus was first identified. Nothing the sequences may used for diagnosing or treating SARS-related disorders. Quote, "The invention provides, in part, the genomic sequence of a putative coronavirus, the SARS virus, and provides novel nucleic acid and amino acid sequences that may be used, for example, for the diagnosis, prophylaxis, or therapy of a variety of SARS virus-related disorders." End quote. The patent does not claim to have invented SARS. Zika. ATCCVR84 This is not a U.S. patent. VR84 inches is the name of a Zika virus strain that is available to purchase on the nonprofit ATCC, American Type Culture Collection, website. The organization describes itself as a global biological resource center and standards organization and the leading developer and supplier of authenticated cells lines and microorganisms. Researchers use such cell lines to test countermeasures to the Zika virus. Ebola. 20,120,251,502 U.S. patent 20,120,251,502 was applied for by the CDC, Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, in 2007, based on the identification of a new Ebola virus isolated from a patient in Bundibugyo, Uganda. It was not invented by the CDC, but the patent was requested so companies can use the virus strain to possibly create vaccines and also to prevent companies from limiting research of the virus. Quote, in 2007, CDC applied for a patent based on the identification of a new Ebola virus isolated from a patient in Bundibugyo, Uganda. The virus is now called Bundibugyo virus, species Bundibugyo ebolavirus, but in some literature is also called Ebo-bun. That patent application is still in process. One major reason that the government may patent a biological substance such as Ebo-bun is so that it can grant rights to use the virus strain for the commercialization of diagnostics, vaccines, and antigen testing, and make them more quickly and readily available to patients, doctors and research scientists. Another reason for patenting is to ensure that another entity does not acquire a patent in a similar space and restrict the beneficial uses of the invention. End quote. The patent does not claim to have invented Ebola.